Michelle Hemmington. I went into labour with my first child on the 17th of May 2011. He was 9 days overdue. When I entered the hospital, mistakes started then. I wasn't monitored for over 5 hours. I was kept in the bath for over 2 hours. When I finally did see a midwife, I was 8 centimetres dilated. My son became distressed, was in distress for around an hour and a half, and no action was taken until they finally did an episiotomy. He was placed on my chest but then taken to a resuscitaire, and lots of commotion and lots of screams for help. And then 35 minutes later we were told they died. So we held Louis for a couple of hours, and then we were told that there was no bereavement room for us because there was another family in there, so that we'd have to go onto labour ward. So we were placed on labour ward and then heard babies being born all night and commotion off the labour ward. When my son was born, they would cheer in and saying, "He's here." Even through the resuscitation process, they were like, "It's going to be okay," and trying to reassure me. And then after we were told he'd died, that's when it was the shock and disbelief at what had just happened. And it's affected all of us deeply, and something we will never get over. We received a letter a week or so after his death to say there would be a serious untoward incident report, so an internal investigation into the circumstances of his death, which we weren't happy with because we didn't want an internal investigation. We wanted an independent investigation, which led us to Sarah Harper from Access Legal, who was recommended to us.
We didn't until after 4 years of trying and after issuing court proceedings get an admission of liability. And that was in respect of the negligence and the cause, i.e. that they caused Louis' death. For Michelle, Paul and Donna, and for the rest of her family, this process wasn't about the money. It was really for obtaining access to justice and justice for Louis. And we at Access Legal supported them through that process, knowing really all that we could obtain was compensation for them. But we also found answers along the way. And we got the admission of liability and justice in the end for the family and for Louis.
I went over how Louis died and the circumstances of Louis' death every day for 4.5 years. And it's only now that the legal case has finished and we've got the answers and how and why that I've actually had some peace. And I now don't think of the circumstances or how he died, but I just think of Louis and how proud I am that he's my son. Knowing that your son's death could have been avoided and he should be here. I should be seeing him hitting milestones, going to school, having his own children. Also, my daughter hasn't got a brother here. I might have to have a minute, actually. I found Access Legal and Sarah Harper especially to be invaluable. Without Sarah, we wouldn't have got the answers as to how and why Louis died. We would have had no one fighting our corner, and Sarah was there the whole way. And I will never ever be able to thank her enough. She's been our rock throughout the process, and I will be ever indebted to her.